Top story at this hour, the South African Students' Congress has embarked on a march to National Student Financial Aid Scheme headquarters in Cape Town. The union says that the march is a result of the frustrations expressed by students across the country in relation to NSFAS. The student body alleges that over the past 5 months, NSFAS has failed to implement its already existing decisions together with the Department of Higher Education and Training. And now joining me live, Nasipi Isame, NN7 reporter. She joins me live from Cape Town. A very good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for your time. Just take us through what is currently taking place there in Cape Town.
A very good afternoon to you and also to the viewers at home. We are behind the SASCO students who have just handed over the memorandum to the acting CEO of NSFAS. However, I am joined by the president of SASCO, who will be telling us more about their demands. What is on the memorandum?
Mainly in the memorandum, really, it's about student allowances. It cannot be that we are approaching the June examinations and students in the TVET sector, they still don't have travel allowance. So when you don't have travel allowance in the TVET, it means you can't reach the 80% class attendance. So you are not compliant to write your examinations, you are kicked out. And it's only for those who can actually afford to be in campuses. The rest of them, they will drop out because they can't arrive at campuses. But secondly, there's accommodation issues. A lot of students still sleep in the libraries, a lot of students still sleep in our university toilets and so forth and so on. And they're vulnerable to all manner of things, rape, abuse, and sugar mommy and sugar daddy tendencies. Because they are on NSFAS, they are confirmed to be on NSFAS, but NSFAS has failed to give them the money that is due to them to have these allowances. But of another importance is the book allowance, that students who are going to write examinations must have the required books to study, to pass examinations. So NSFAS, for you to qualify, you must be academically deserving and poor. These are poor, they are sufferings, but NSFAS is not supporting the academic need. So we're going to have people who are failing this semester because they are not given the book allowance which is due to them.
And then what is your whole objective? What is the whole point of this march, and what are you hoping to achieve?
Look, the whole objective of this march is within the context of free quality education. So if you're going to give bursaries and loans to individuals, you must support them to be able to pass and to be able to study without any hindrance. They must be in an academically conducive environment and supported accordingly. But in this case, that is not the case. And we're saying this is just at the start of it. As we await for the president to announce on free quality education in this country for the poor, we'll continue to roll some of these activities. We're going to Blade in Pretoria when we are done here. We're going to say to Blade, stop privatizing NSFAS. Don't give NSFAS to corrupt banks. Don't give NSFAS to corrupt fellows who are in the banking system. We acknowledge the leadership of Sizwe Ngasani, but don't allow his banking history to confuse you. You are a communist who understand that the banking space in South Africa, the banking cartel is corrupt, is led by wrong people, is untransformed. And therefore you have a responsibility with your political consciousness as both a cadre and a minister to deliver students, not to deliver student market into the banking sector, because it's corrupt and it's untransformed and it's not in the black interest, but another interest.
And then, Thabo, you gave the CEO 14 days to respond to your memorandum. How do you want this response from the acting CEO? And lastly, should they not respond within the time frame that you guys have given them, what will happen from SASCO's side?
In the 14 days, we are going to do two things. We're going to march to Pretoria within the 14 days because some of the demands to say stop Sizwe from privatizing NSFAS and giving it into corrupt banks, corrupt ABSA, corrupt friends in the banking sector. Stop this thing. We don't want it. We know that Sizwe has done the ministerial review. He has presented a report to you. It's up for public comment. We don't want that. Stop it. 2. Play oversight over NSFAS to ensure that they deliver the money. There is money in NSFAS. It's not a question of there is no money. There is now money. But they are unable to give the money to a deserving student. But secondly, we are going to meet with NSFAS and say numbers per campus, 260 campus of TVET colleges, 85 university campuses. What is the status of applicants and responses and allowance paid? We want to have that information. and communicate, and it's not just the status, and say, those ones who are not responded, respond to them within the 14 days. If you have not done so, we'll be forced to come and occupy NSFAS office and take it over, and they will have to see where they can work, because similarly, working here does not assist them. They can't deliver when they work here.
Thank you so much.
And also, we're not done. We also want the CIO to be fired. There is a white man called Richard here. This man was responsible for the IT aspect of the student-centered model. The student-centered model, IT-wise, has collapsed. It has failed. It has failed as a student. The CEO resigned, the CIO was fired, but this man is still keeping his job. What for? We believe he must join the CEO and COO in an early retirement. He must resign. Failure to resign, they must be fired. Failure for him to be fired, the NSFAS board must fire the CEO and the rest of them, because clearly they are not competent to do their job. If you're an IT specialist, you should have foreseen some of these dangers about the new student-centered model. And if you failed, you are not only failing NSFAS, you are failing the poorest of the poor in this country, you are failing our parents, and you are failing this country. And we can't afford a situation where there is money to ensure success of the poorest of the poor, and you fail them. That is injustice to the core.
Thank you so much, Thabo.
Thank
That
you.
was the president of SASCO, who was saying that the students at these different institutions and TVET colleges are faced with many challenges, also touching on the fact that they want NSFAS to be responsible and pay for their accommodation, as many of them have even resorted to sleeping in toilets in these different institutions, and also said that they are asking for NSFAS to provide them with money and payment for the textbooks as they are approaching examination time, and also touched on the fact that they would like government to intervene and oversee what is currently happening at NSFAS, and said that money is available and that NSFAS is not really doing its part, and are also asking for an effective and efficient online registration. And he said that this is just the beginning. Them approaching and going to the head offices of NSFAS is only just the beginning, at the tip of the iceberg of free decolonized education. And should the acting CEO of NSFAS not respond within the 14 days in the time frame that they've given him to respond, they will come here at the head office and occupy.
All right, thank you very much. And a CP Same NN7 reporter joining us live from Cape Town, just giving us more details.